guys, we gotta talk about what's been going on with these infamous 90 Day Fiance cast members Michael and Angela, who I consider to be the worst person that they have ever had on this show for, well, honestly, so many reasons, which we will get into. But basically, to give you a TLDR of the situation, Michael, who of course lived overseas, finally arrived in America after years of trying to get over here by faking his love for the human slug that is Angela. And literally within a week of him getting here, bro had to flee from her for his own safety, apparently. I know, that sounds absolutely insane, but it's real, and it also led to a massive nationwide manhunt between law enforcement and the wild fandom that is 90 Day Fiance watchers, and luckily I'm gonna spoil it a little bit for you here, but he has been found, or he at least has been in contact with law enforcement. It's weird, he has not shown his face, we have not really gotten a proof of life, but according to Angela herself, she has been in contact with law enforcement who have been in contact with him, so he is at least okay, I think. And you could be thankful for that, but let's get into why he felt he had to run away and why I think this is literally the most hilarious / insane thing that I have ever seen happen to anybody that has been on this godforsaken show. So make sure you drop a like and watch to the end of this one because it's gonna get insane. But anyways, first things first, let's talk about Angela, whom I assume most of you know by now, but if you don't, well, I'm sure you can take 1 or 2 glances at this woman and pretty much see exactly what she's about, all right? I don't know how else to say it. The age-old quote of never judge a book by its cover is only really false when it comes to this woman. I mean, you should absolutely judge the book by its cover here. Just take one look.
If I have to show proof that I am his wife and I have the right to anything that he owns, I can do it legally.
There you go. Because oh dear lord is this woman vile, and I think her inner personality and demons, as well as the copious amounts of stogs that she's ripping daily, are just making her age in super, I guess you could say, unique ways, if that's just me putting it lightly and in the nicest way possible. And trust me, I might just sound like I'm being a dick to this woman because she's old and everything, but no, it's much more than that. Go watch any clip of hers or any of these clips that you're seeing right now in the background. Watch those with audio context and you will understand why I am being this way when it comes to talking about this woman. But anyways, Angela has been on the show from what feels like the OG days, and literally there have been petitions after petitions to get this woman removed from the air. All of the cast members of the 90 Day franchise, I mean, they're obviously a little bit wacky and weird and problematic here and there, like obviously Big Ed is a real piece of trash and similar petitions have been put up for him to get removed from the network. But I think Angela took it to new levels with actual videotaped evidence of multiple instances of her being abusive to not only her partner Michael, who we're talking about today, but also other cast members. And I'm bringing this all up because Michael is claiming he had to completely run away from Angela once he arrived in this foreign country with no money to his name and no place to sleep. That was all because he feared for his life. That's the exact wording he used when he got in contact with law enforcement and immigration offices. So yeah, after finally making the trek to America to be with this lovely woman, it all came crashing down. And it kind of turns out this persona that we've been seeing of Angela on camera was of course only a shred of her true self. And I mean, let's run it back to just the last season that we saw her on. She was on 90 Day The Last Resort. Remember, she was kind of tacked on there. For some reason, Michael was on an iPad because at this point, he still was not even close to getting into America. So that shows how long this dude's been fighting. But anyways, there was a time on that where she got so belligerent, she literally got up in Liz's face. And I was surprised production did not step in sooner to stop it. Had they not been there, I do think an assault would have definitely happened. And of course, they eventually did step in, but come on, you saw the hatred and anger in Angela's eyes, and also the absolute inability for her to stop it. Like, once the momentum started, she just became a monster, and I'm imagining this is exactly how it was day in and day out once he got to America and had to start dealing with her one-on-one without the cameras being there. Now I want you to imagine there are no cameras, like I said, and you're just some foreign dude that's in a new country alone with this person that you're kind of scared of. Now, I'll be the first to admit it, this guy Michael is not a saint, nor has he really been the best partner ever, but I'm gonna take his word on this situation based purely on my evidence that I've been getting from seeing this foul creature that is Angela on my TV for a few years now. And according to him, once he got in America, Angela immediately took his passport from him, which is red flag number 1. That's got to be against the law or something.
And I have the right to anything that he owns, I can do it legally.
And basically told him he was not to communicate with anyone back home, especially his family. Red flag number 2, I mean, that's taken right out of the playbook of somebody who's wanting to be controlling and manipulative. And she basically kept him on house arrest, where anytime she was out by herself, he was pretty much stuck at home with nobody to talk to and not allowed to leave. I mean, he of course did get to leave the house still, as can be seen in these posts that I found from Reddit, where people were spotting them out together at their local Target and stuff, which does confirm that he officially was in America at this point. You know, this wasn't some chained up in the basement type situation, but But all of the above already sounds sketchy as hell, and just like the classic makings of, like I said, a manipulative bad relationship. Now that's very light wording, I think it's much worse than that, but we'll just leave it at that. This man had to go out, according to him, and get a second phone and a picture of his passport on that phone, in case something was done to his passport to destroy it or, you know, throw it away, or his real phone was taken. Also, his main phone might have even been smashed by Angela in a fit of rage. Again, this is all coming from what she says he said, so this is quite misconstrued sometimes probably, but that's another good sign that what he's saying probably has some truth to it. And the entire time he was on the run, which was like multiple days, this man was only communicating through his burner phone and kept his real phone off the whole time so that Angela couldn't track him. Oh, and for all you out there that are like, Grim, you moron, this guy's just trying to dip once he got to America so he could stay here illegally and take my job. And to that I have to say this, imagine spending literally 5 seconds with Angela, in a romantic context too, not like you're just in the room with her, no, now you're her boo, and she's all riled up. You got her turkey neck flapping in the wind, as that throat is just bellowing out those low raspy notes of her voice, which is constantly yelling at you, and the smell of her 10-pack-a-day breath is wafting over to you as you fixate on her crusty SpongeBob stuck under the heat lamp and has to cry to turn it on just so he can not die looking ass lips, and you're telling me that you're not ready to just stop existing once you realize this is your life from here on out. Now I want you to imagine suffering through that daily for literal years, okay? Of all people on the 90-day franchise overall, I would say this Michael dude has fought the hardest and longest for his immigration status to change. And okay, you might not realize it, but this man is an absolute warrior. I mean, it's obviously like a meme to talk about how difficult the actual immigration process is in America, but I swear he's put in like easily 5 times the amount of work that it takes to just immigrate here on your own. So I think it's fair to say this was not his plan, and I wholeheartedly believe him when he told police that he simply feared for his life once he saw how the situation was gonna be down here in America. Another note that I found when I was reading a Reddit discussion on this is apparently there's different types of immigration statuses and visas that you can choose to go for, and apparently the one that Michael did is a spousal one, which has a way longer wait time and processing time, but it basically solidified his status once he got on American soil. So it's not like he's some fugitive on the run, at least I don't think. Obviously, that's just a Reddit comment, and I'm about 100 steps removed from being a lawyer or somebody with intelligence at all, so don't take my word for it, but that's why I think he was so reluctant to come forward, was he was actually scared, not because he was facing anything with immigration, just because he was legit afraid of Angela. And what I see as being the most insane part of this show is how correct the 90-day audience, including myself, has been about this woman for her entire time on this show. The Liz thing was insane, but that was like the last thing in a line in a series of terrible moments that we've seen from her. And there's been, like I said, countless petitions and Reddit posts, Facebook posts, I'm sure, talking about how this woman is past the point of it being funny cringe TV like we're used to on TLC, and straight up going into bad person / illegal territory in a lot of her moments. And I straight up agree, people like her just should not have a platform. I mean, I can remember when she flew to this man's home country in one of the seasons and began dismantling his car angrily in his driveway at 3 a.m. just because she was being messy. I mean, she's obviously very bad at handling anger, and her outbursts have been shown to be very explosive, so obviously after all this has happened, I have to imagine TLC is cutting ties with her finally, after not listening to the audience for this long.
It is so unfortunate my brother from Nigeria who comes to somebody like you. Yeah, you scam him, you host him at the hostage. Okay. Nonsense.
But honestly, is it too little too late? It already got to this point, so I can't imagine it getting much worse. And again, I don't want to paint Michael as being completely innocent. Bro's pretty trash himself sometimes in the things he does and says, but you know, this whole situation is just mind-blowing to me that I have no other way of coping with this new information other than laughing at how preposterous it all is. I am honestly glad Michael is safer now, or at least he says he is, and he has been located, or at least been in contact with law enforcement, and they know he is alive.
I'm getting ready to see a man I ain't seen in 2 years that's talking to me, and I don't take from nobody.
I honestly was hoping Angela was not about to launch a new series called 90 Day Locked Up for Life after she was found to have iced this poor guy and chopped him up or something, but okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit too lighthearted for what truly is a sad story if it is true. And that's where I leave it up to y'all. I want you to comment down below what you think of this situation. If you've been following along or seen Angela on the show ever, what is your take? I mean, who knows? Honestly, this was maybe his play from way back, and he is perfectly executing the most amazing, unique path to citizenship that I have ever seen. And honestly, with how slimy of a person Angela is, if that truly is what happened, and like I said, he executed this plan perfectly and just finessed the hell out of her and the TV show and everything, I really can't even be mad. I think, in fact, we should applaud the guy if that's the case. I mean, what do I know at this point? What I do know is this is giving me a headache to think about. So thank you for making it to the very end of this video. Make sure you go check out my other 90 Day Fiance videos on my channel and subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an upload. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and until next time, peace out.